past 37 years, the F-150 has been the best-selling truck in the United States. And for 2015, Ford completely redesigned it from the inside and out. Now, one of the biggest questions with this truck is the aluminum body and the all-new frame, and whether or not it was going to hold up to the demands of truckers. We're here in San Antonio, Texas with Ford to test the all-new F-150 to see how it stacks up. Ford exerted a lot of energy redesigning the body and frame and reducing a lot of weight, but they also wanted to increase the power to weight ratio with all its motors with the weight reduction. Now, of the options, there are 4 different motors available. There's a 3.5 liter V6 that produces 283 horsepower and 255 pound-feet of torque. A 5 liter V8 produces 385 horsepower and 387 pound-feet of torque. And then there's 2 EcoBoost motors. Returning will be the 3.5 liter V6 that produces 365 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, and the all-new 2.7 liter V6 that produces 325 horsepower and 375 pound-feet of torque. But what's most unique about this is it's the first use of compacted graphite iron cylinder block in a gasoline engine for Ford. Ford will offer a 36-gallon tank that comes standard on all 4x4s, and it's an option on all but the regular cabs with a 6.5-foot bed. Ford also touts a number of new features that are class exclusives in the segment, one of them being a 360-degree camera view that creates a bird's eye view of the truck for getting into tight parking spots and to help when you're attaching the trailer to the back of the truck. There's the box link function that provides different storage accessory options and utilizes brackets and cleats in the rear bed for ramps, tie downs, and bed dividers for storing items. One of the coolest new features is a remote tailgate that now allows you to control locking and unlocking your tailgate, and at the push of a button it will release the tailgate to drop it down so you can load and unload items in the back. So we're in the F-150 now, driving through Texas. You know, Ford decided to get out of the mid-size truck market, so there's no longer a Ranger available. And with the new F-150, it's kind of like those books you read as a kid, Choose Your Own Adventure. It's kind of like build your own truck now. So there's a number of different platforms you can get: regular cab, extra cab, 4-door, and then there's 4 different motor options. Right now we're in the 2.7 liter EcoBoost. Now this is a new motor for them with CGI block. Basically, this will almost be comparable to a V8 in terms of horsepower and performance, and it drives really well. We're really surprised. You know, it's a 2.7 liter V6. You wouldn't imagine that it would have this much power and acceleration on the bottom end, but it really does. And it handles well. It's got great torque off the bottom, and those twin turbos really make a big difference. And one of the most unique features about it is the start-stop technology. Now, there's actually a button on the dash that you can turn it off if you want, but when you come up to a stoplight, it will actually shut off the engine to help save fuel. If the battery, for whatever reason, needs an extra charge, if you turn on the air conditioning unit, anything that will require some power, the motor will automatically turn back on. But the system actually controls itself so that it'll shut off and help save additional fuel. So we talked earlier about some of the biggest questions with this truck, and one of them is this aluminum body and the redesigned frame. So you lose as much as 700 pounds on the vehicle. Truck buyers are wondering whether or not it's still going to be tough enough for them. So part of the event for the new F-150, we had the opportunity yesterday to go on an autocross course. We did a drag race style acceleration, and then we went into a cone turn course. So we were able to hop in different EcoBoost motors, the V8, all the different engine platforms in the F-150, but Ford also brought along the competition. And we were able to feel the difference in this lighter truck going through some of the tight turns. And we really felt like the weight savings made a noticeable difference. It felt a little lighter in the turns, didn't feel like you were ever pushing out wide, which sometimes a heavier half-ton truck will feel that way. And today, spending all this time on the road, driving through Texas, this really reiterates the feeling we had yesterday that the weight savings definitely makes a difference in turns, and you really feel like this truck handles well. With so many changes to the 2015 F-150, it's no wonder that there's a lot of skepticism about whether or not the aluminum body and the all-new frame are going to hold up to the demands and the needs that truckers have. We've put the F-150 through its paces here in Texas these last couple days. We've gone through everything from off-road sections to covering a lot of highway and some tight, windy roads. We can definitely say that we noticed a difference in the handling with the lighter frame. It definitely makes a difference around the corners, and mostly we were impressed with the new 2.7 liter EcoBoost motor. Both the 2.7 and the 3.5 are going to be great motors for this market, and with 4 different engine options, there's basically a truck for everyone on the F-150. So at the end of the day, the questions that we had about the toughness and durability of this truck have been answered. We thought it held up great, and we really like the motors that Ford has put into this truck. So it gets our seal of approval, and we look forward to spending more time in it to do a full review in the future.